skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Rise and shine, it's your time. Skill up, raise the climb. Navigate, innovate. It's your fate, don't be late. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay.
If you're a new manager or hoping to be a new manager, join us in our exploration into what managers need to know. This program will set you up for success by building your knowledge and confidence in the skills you need to be effective. Hello, and welcome to the first of our five-part series on what managers need to know, negotiation skills, getting past no. Get to here. A little bit about me. I taught for the Executive Management Institute and the Small Business Development Center at the University of Wisconsin-Madison School of Business for 30 years. I've been a workplace learning and performance improvement consultant with my own business for 38 years. So let's get into this. What managers need to know. There are six different steps that we're going to be looking at. First, to relax, then to refocus, reframe, refine and relate, and then resolve. And we're going to focus on how to relax when we're dealing with a difficult negotiation. How many of you have ever experienced a difficult negotiation? The person may be attacking you, making it very personal, could be lying, could be stonewalling you, not responding to reasonable requests, can be very upsetting and very discouraging, very frustrating. So we're going to look at how to relax in that situation. And there are two steps involved in that. First, recognizing the tactics. I'm sorry. We're looking at the 6 steps to begin with. So with relax, the 2 steps of that are recognize the tactics and disconnect your hot buttons. And the tactics we're going to be looking at today are attacks, stonewalls, and tricks and lies. Then we refocus. We ask problem-solving questions and use active listening to try to move the situation into something that's more objective and reasonable. Step 3, we reframe. We go around those stone walls, we deflect the attacks, we expose the tricks. Hopefully that works. Then we can move to step 4, refine. We bring it up. This is what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Let's negotiation about the negotiations. Step 5, relate. Focus on mutual interests and identify objective standards. If you were with us for our previous series on getting to yes, this will sound very familiar because we are hopefully moving the difficult negotiation into something that is reasonable, where we can work through this mutually problem solving. And step 6, resolve. Invent options for mutual gain, which is also part of getting to yes. One part that is new, however, is helping the other party save face because they have constituents that they have to report to. And if they work with us to resolve the situation and come up with some solution that is mutually acceptable, they may have to sell that solution back at the ranch. And we may need to do something to help them save face. So, step one, relax. The ability to stay calm is the key to effective negotiation. This requires the ability to recognize when a provocative tactic is being used and to avoid taking it personally. So, recognizing the tactics. The key to neutralizing a tactic's effect on you is to recognize when they're using it. There are 3 basic provocative tactics, most of which depend on your not knowing what is being done to you. Once you can recognize the tactic, you can choose to act rather than react to the situation. And then the other part of this is to disconnect your hot buttons. Reacting has many dangers. We lose sight of our interests, we lose our objectivity, and we lose control over the situation and ourselves. And those provocative tactics are intended to pull you off your game, to get you in a place where you are vulnerable and you're not in charge and you're not in control of the situation. So 3 kinds of tactics. Let's first look at the stone walls. That's a refusal to budge. It is an obstructive tactic. The other person tries to convince you that they have no flexibility and that there is no choice other than their position. It can take the form of a fait accompli. What is done, it can't be changed. Or resort to agency policy. I can't do anything about it. It's current company policy. Or reference to a previous commitment. I told the owner that we would hold the line on this. The other person may engage in endless foot dragging and delay. We'll send you the information when we have a staff person to handle it. Or they may issue a final declaration over my dead body. Any other suggestion on your part is met with a no. So it's a stone wall. You can't seem to get past it. And it's a very clever delaying tactic. The next type of tactic is attacks. They are pressure tactics designed to intimidate you and make you feel so uncomfortable that you ultimately give in to the other person's demands. These are offensive tactics. The most common form of attack is to threaten you with dire consequences unless you accept their position. Leave us alone or we'll call our legislator. They attack your proposal. Your figures are way out of line. Your credibility. Look, you're too wet behind the ears. I really need to talk with someone who knows what they're doing. Or they attack your status and authority. We want to talk to your supervisor. Attackers will insult, badger, and bully until they get their way, or at least that's their plan. And the third kind of tactic is tricks. These are deceptive tactics that dupe you into giving in. They take advantage of the fact that you assume your counterpart is acting in good faith and is telling the truth. One kind of trick is manipulating the data using false, phony, or confusing figures. Another is the no authority ploy, in which the other person misleads you into believing they have the authority to decide the issue, only to inform you after you have given up as much as you can that, in fact, someone else makes the decision. A third trick is the add-on, the last-minute additional demand that comes after the other person has led you to believe you have already reached an agreement. So these are stonewalls, attacks, and tricks. And when we get to the reframe step, we will look at how to deflect those attacks, to go around those stone walls, and to expose those tricks. When we are faced with these kinds of attacks, these provocative tactics, there are three natural reactions. One is to strike back. When someone attacks you, your instinctive reaction is to attack right back, to fight fire with fire. If they take a rigid and extreme position, you do the same. Occasionally, this will show the other person that two can play the same game and will make the other person stop, but not always. More often, this strategy will land you in a futile and costly confrontation. Striking back rarely advances your immediate interests and usually damages your long-term relationship. Even if you do win the battle, you may lose the war. Another natural reaction is just to give in. The other person may succeed in making you feel so uncomfortable with the negotiation that you give in just to be done with it. They pressure you, implying that you are the one who's blocking agreement. Sometimes we're intimidated and we appease an unreasonable person under the illusion that if we give in just this one last time, we will get that person off our back and we'll never have to deal with that person again. All too often, however, this person comes back for further concessions. If you were with us when we looked at conflict management and different strategies, this is to a great extent playing the turtle to a shark, going belly up. And the third natural reaction is to break off. You break off relations with a difficult person or organization. At times, avoidance is a perfectly appropriate strategy. Sometimes it's better to end a personal or business relationship if continuing means being taken advantage of or getting into fights again and again. Breaking off may remind the other person of the stake they have in the relationship so that they will act more reasonably. However, a pattern of breaking off relationships means you never get anywhere because you are always starting over. So how do you disconnect your hot buttons? First, you can pause and say nothing. Even taking a few seconds will allow you to see things more objectively. Pausing may also give the other person a chance to cool down. You can play back the conversation. Since you can pause for only so long, one way to buy more time to think and slow down the conversation is by playing it back. Tell your counterpart, let me just make sure I understand what you're saying. Review the discussion up to that point. If the other person overloads you with information, ask for a detailed account. Take careful notes. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification. Successful negotiators learn that appearing a little obtuse can be a negotiating advantage. Do a little Columbo, if you have ever seen Peter Falk being the detective Columbo. Something that he would always say, I'm a little confused, didn't you say? And then says back to the person something that obviously shows that the person is lying. Or take a break. If you need more time to think, you should take a break. Find a natural excuse. Let's take a quick coffee break. If you can't leave the situation, try to take a time out from the negotiation by temporarily diverting the conversation with a story or a joke. All three of these are intended to help you center yourself, become more clear about what's actually going on so that you can be objective and stay in control of your emotions. This protects you from overreacting and forgetting your interests and goals in the situation. Let's talk. If you would like help in learning how to get past no, please schedule time to talk. That is my Calendly link, and it's in the QR code as well. Next week, now that we have relaxed to the extent that we can, we're going to attempt to refocus the conversation and move it away from different provocative tactics. We won't look at how to get around those tactics until we get to step 3, which is reframe. Thank you for sharing your time with me.
Thank you so much for coming and participating in our discussion of what managers need to know. You can find the videos of this and previous sessions on my YouTube channel or under events on my LinkedIn profile. I'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost. Lead the way every day. Find success, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Oh, it's here to stay. It's here to stay. Yeah. Get the skills, be the boss. No more time to feel lost.